Recording in progress.
Hello, my name is Wahid Lutfi. I'm going to show you on Linux Ubuntu desktop, which is a version that I'm running as a virtual machine that you're seeing my screen right here, that this is the desktop version. But before I get that one, let me just show you on the virtual machine that I initially configured, and it is started today. I started it. It says Linux Ubuntu 22.04 long-term support running. And as you can see, all the system that is 4 gig memory, the display, all these setting is under this. And I'm basically running it on the background here. So when you click on the show here, if I just click OK here and then click on show here, it comes out to the desktop. And I can resize this one. You can see that I'm on a Windows machine operating system. This is my virtual box, and this is my session for connection. This is my other session on YouTube. And then you can see that this is running on Linux, I'm sorry, on a host operating system called Windows operating system. If I open a command prompt, as you can see from the icons and the interface, it says Windows 10 operating system. Obviously, I can get system information, or I can close that one since I'm showing you the Linux Ubuntu. Here, as you can see on the display, I can right click here and say open a terminal. Open in terminal, and then I'm going to open a terminal. When the terminal opens up here, I have a choice of moving it to the right. And then since the font is small, I can do Shift Control Plus to make it the size that I want to grow it. So that is a good size for my terminal to display here. As you can see that user is Wahid, the name of the host is algorithm, and then I can type in host name, it will just say algorithm. And if I say ID, the user that I'm logged on as Wahid, it will show that one with a Wahid user ID and group ID and everything else. So at this time, I'm not yet root, but I can do sudo su dash and then switch user to root, and then I can type in the password for myself that I'm on the sudo or files. And then if I'm having the right password, I should be able to log into this server as root ID. And then if I just say, what is the operating system name, clearing my screen, I don't have to be logged on as root to get some of this information. So I exit out and I'm just showing my regular user here. Clear screen again. If I just do that uname-a, it will just say that this is a Linux algorithm is the host name, the node name. Uname-n also shows the algorithm, the node name. Uname-o is the GNU Linux operating system. Uname and dash kernel name, for example, you could see that it's Linux there. And then you can get a lot of these uname-s for system, uname-m for machine type, uname-m for machine type, and uname-r for revision, the kernel build, and uname-p for platform or architecture, x86. So you can get all of that one. And if you're just interested to get all of them, you can say uname-help. That would give you the syntax for all of them, the short form as well as the long form. So -p for processor or -- processor would give you dash for the platforms. So you can see all of this information, as well as you can clear a screen, say cat etc os-release. And then notice this one is showing you the operating system that I'm running is 22.04, as the name is done here, and it's long-term support. The code name is Jammy Jellyfish. That's the code name that came out on April 22nd or something of 2022 this year. And then basically it is good for 5 years. That's why it's called a long-term support. So at this time, there's a lot of packages that are already installed here. If I want to get a list of all the packages that are there, I can do app list for application package tool list. And this will just run into the app repository and will just list all the packages that are there on the system one by one, and it's thousands of packages. So if I clear my screen and say, yeah, instead of doing that one, let's just do a word count minus L on the app list. So I'm going to do a app list and then word count minus L as a pipe argument to it. So clear the screen. Let's just clear the screen. There was a typo, app list. The T was in uppercase, so it should be lowercase, and that's why it did not run. And now it's going to say it is the interface is not unstable because I have to just do the network configuration and then connect it. Right now I'm local, and so if I do fconfig minus A here, you can see that the interface is not showing. Clear screen. Fconfig -A for all, and it's going to show that I am not connected, right? Not found on the interface. Let's say sudo apt install net tools. So the fconfig is not there, but I can say IP A for showing my IP address. But I can also do apt install net tools in order for the fconfig to come out. So I could say sudo apt install net dash tools. This will install the fconfig utilities and other programs that are part of that package. The net tools is the one that it provides it. Then when I say which fconfig it will be available, then I can do fconfig-A. But IP is like a replacement for the fconfig. And if you want to install it, yes, you have a choice with apt install to install it for you. Right now it's doing the installation. While doing the installation, I want to click on the network right here and then just say bridge it with the network setting. It says wire connected. Yes, I'm connected through wire. And then let's see if I could just enable it. Right now it says turn off wired setting. Let me just see if this one is going to take me to the setting. Okay, so this one, it did install it, and I'm going to clear my screen again to show you the commands. Clear, and then I say which fconfig. If it is installed there, let's see if this network setting is going to show here connected. This one is already connected, so I'm good with the network. It's 1000 megabit per second because I'm connected through the Ethernet cable, so that is good. I'm going to close this one, and then now which fconfig, because I installed it, it should be showing that one. Earlier when I did fconfig, it was not there, and it says you need to do sudo apt install net tools, and now it is there, so I can run the fconfig, and it will tell me that it is there. So if I want to say my netstat minus rn routing table in numbers, I can see that one. And my gateway is up and running, so I can say ping 10.0.2.2 because I'm doing it through the virtual machine. It's bridged from the Windows host operating system. This gateway is up and running, and I can see on the network setting here under the setting under network, you can see that for the network it says NAT, network address translation. That means it's bridged out and it is getting connected. So all I'm doing is doing that, and if I just say ns name server lookup, look up, and then let's say google.com, then it's going to resolve to Google IP address. I can also clear the screen, say, and let's look up minus Q is equal, let's say, MX record for google.com. So that would say mail exchanger record, and it says smtp.google.com is that one. So you can get a lot of information with this, and then you can do ping like www.mywebuniversity.com, and then you can ping the server. It is up and running, that server, and then I could SSH to the machine also. So here automatically this has a secure shell connection. So if I say which SSH, then it is just basically available there. And then if I say host name here, I can SSH to itself to see if that is going to allow me. Since I'm W Wahid, this is a client, I'm going to say SSH minus L W Lutfi. Actually, my username is Wahid here. So I'm going to say Wahid, and then the name of the server is algorithm. Algorithm. So this will just connect me to the algorithm. Connection refused because I'm not running SSHD as daemon. So PS minus EF grep minus ISHD SSHD, and then that is not running as daemon. I can just say let's start it so I can listen to SSH for the moment, so I can demo SSH connection. The way you do this one, on the left system and D system, there's all these services. So left system D system, I just mistyped it. So I'm going to clear my screen. This is the directory that all the system D processes are there, and the system related services. So if I just clear the screen and say, show me all the processes that are started with SSH, and then you can see that if there's any process with SSH, it should show. Let me see if I do sudo first, su dash, and then I'm going to become that. Now I'm going to say system CTL status SSHD. So to see if SSHD is running, and it is not a service, it's not configured on this machine. Otherwise, you would see it. If it is running with as SSH, you could see that it is not there either. So I could say apt search SSHD to find out the SSH daemon first, to make sure that if there is a service, I need to download it and install it. Open SSH, Open SSL, SSH, all of them are packages. So there's, let me just do SSHD here. So when you do search apps, search SSH D, it's going to look at SSH services. And at the same time, you say apt info SSHD to get information on that package. And then if there's any related information, it is going to show you. Let me just do apt show SSHD. If it is installed, it will show the packages. Since it's not there, I'm going to just say apt install SSHD. So let's see if it goes on the repository, and it's going to find where SSHD is. If it is that package is there, it will find it. But I'm going to try now apt install SSH to see if it's part of the SSHD. So it is trying to find the packages that are under ncurses and terminals and other ones. See if there's anything related to the OpenSSH server and everything else. You can see that OpenSSH comes in. So the package most likely is called the services OpenSSH because it's right here, OpenSSH server, and that contains the SSHD as daemons and everything else. Open SSH, and then secure FTP is also there. Secure FTP is for secure file transfer protocol, and then SSH and scopy, all of them are under this OpenSSL as a package together. So I could have installed OpenSSH, and then that would do it. And also SSH itself is going to just create SSH2 and SSHD and all the other details. So at this time it is doing this one, and I'm already connected to the server, and it's to 62%. So let me pause the video because I'm not gonna, actually it's not that much, it's 95% already. So let's just give it a couple of more seconds. It's setting up the firewall. This is Ubuntu firewall D, man DB is all the man pages for all these secure commands, SSH stuff are getting added here. So now I'm on that directory on the left, system D, system. And then if I clear my screen again and do a pwd, and then this time I do ls -ld, let's see if anything with SSH is coming. Yeah, it did come. So all the services, SSH at .service is the service that it is going to start when we start the SSH services, and it's going to be configured on port 22. So if I grep -i for SSH on etc services, then it's going to show that, and this is running on port 22. Similarly, if I look for the scopy for secure shell and scopy, and that would also be port 22, but it's not showing up here. If I just look for the number 22 to see what other processes are tied to that port 22. Oh, grep, I just missed that P here. And then that would just show you the SSH is there and other clients there. So let's clear the screen here and then do a systemctl status. Status, this one, if you just don't provide anything, it's going to show you a big information on all the services that are up and running. But if you give it a status of, for example, Apache or HTTPD or Firewall D, anything, afterward you can get the status of it. So SSH D, let's see if there is a service. Yes, since it's already active, it's running. When we installed it, it is started, and it is listening on this process ID, this one on port 22, as you can see, and everything is there. So if I just type Q for quit, you look at the ps -ef grep -i sshd, then you can see that that process already started right here on the system. And then as you can see, 49.248 is the process ID here and there. So if you need more information, you know that it is active and running, then you can say, let's say lsof -p for the process, you can just say 49.244. Then that will just list of open files for all the open files for this one. It will just show you one by one. And if you don't want to use the browsing thing, let me just cd to the root directory here. Sorry, cd to the root directory here. And then because that path is really long here, I'm going to clear the screen, and I could just say, let's just say the same command that we did here for the lsof command. You can see that that process ID of that one is there. Clear the screen again, and this time I'm going to do 5 more. Sorry, the arrow is a little bit slower than my self-typing, so I'm going to do more here. And then now you don't have to up arrow, you can just go stop at the time. And then you can also do lsof -i for the port 22. You can see that port 22, the process that are there. So since I'm logged on here, now notice that I'm logged on here, but I can log in another session. I can say ID of Wahid and get the information. So I know that Wahid is there, and then grep minus I for Wahid on etc password, etc shadow, and etc group file to make sure that I have a valid user ID that I can authenticate to this machine. Since I'm logged on here, you can see this, this is the encrypted password here that's long, and then the group that I belong here. So I'm going to just say SSH minus L for the username, Wahid, and then I'm going to give the name of the hostname algorithm. Algorithm. This is I named this host as algorithm as Al-Khawarizm. Al-Khawarizm was the 7th century mathematician, Persian mathematician that the name algorithm is named after him because he was the pioneer philosopher and mathematicians of 7th century that he come up with the concept of anything you want to solve with algebra and math and everything, you somehow you have to have a finite set of sequence of steps that it's not infinite, it is finite. So a few steps or 100 steps or 1 million steps, it is still a finite set of steps that does carry some computation in order to solve something. And that is called algorithm or Al-Khawarizm. Algorithm basically is used in every computer programming language, operating system, database, networking software, and algorithm is named after his name, Al-Khawarizm. Muhammad bin Musa al-Khawarizm. He lived in back then in where it was the Persia, Iraq, and now it's Tajikistan, I believe, that area. But algorithm was a great mathematician, so I named this host as after him. Now it's prompting me for the password to log into that machine. If I provide the valid password, it should authenticate me to that host because I'm running a SSH. Notice I just opened a SSH connection. Now if I type in ID here, I just logged in there to that machine here. And then if I just say PS minus EF grep minus I for SSH, you can see the connection that I established. One of them, if I say who am I, one of them is myself with this authentication that is coming from this one. And you can see this is the process ID that it started. So I can type in PS and then I can see the process ID that is I'm running here. All of that one is my process IDs for the system. So initially I come up with this SSH minus connection. I can also do SSH, for example, without minus L, I could say Wahid at algorithm. And I don't have to type in the DNS name as exactly the same uppercase because the name is just the name of the host name. So it is okay with that one. I can even provide the IP address. Let's see if I could just do this one. It's gonna say, okay, the fingerprint is done. I say, yes, I know that. I'm going to type in this one. And then this time I'm gonna type in again the password and it's going to just open another connection for me. So if I just log in who, notice that I have at least 2 of the other users that I came in from this terminal connections, and the previous one is my previous one. If I just exit out of one of them, which I just did, it says connection to algorithm closed, then I say who, and then you can see that it's, this one is still active. So and the last one, who am I, is saying that I'm PTS2, this is PTS2. So if I just say who minus R, run level is going to show me I'm on run level, which is a graphical user interface. User bin run level on Linux and other ones are also showing you U-R, and this one run level is not showing. So when you do which run level, I think it's user S-bin. So run level should give me run level 5 also. You can see that one. If I had typed in user S-bin run level, that would have worked also, because the run level is installed on the system binaries rather than the bin directory binary of users. So you can see that one. Now remember that I clear the screen if I just say ID here and I say who, and then those are the users. Who am I? And then it's going to show me that I'm coming on this PTS this. And as soon as I type in who am I like this, notice that I'm still Wahid user, I'm not root. So this time I'm going to do exit. It's going to close this this one. If I type in the exit, it closed from PTS2 from this one. So now if I just type in who again, it's only the first one, TTY2 and PTS1. So that one, if I just type in who am I here, now I'm root, as you can see. And who am I is showing me that I'm on the local machine. So my local machine is that I'm not coming from a remote SSH connection through that one. So if I go to another terminal, exit out of this one, I can exit out. And if I SSH to another machine, like I have some machine, I could log in with the username and password combination and then SSH to it. Yes, I can open that as no problem there either. And here you are fully, you know, a lot of tools are already available for you. So right here, if I just do the apt install, like I install SSH, if I just run a command like calendar, it is there. ncal for new calendar is there. And then clear the screen and say calendar dash before 3 months before today. So you could do a B uppercase and then followed by 3, and then it says, okay, this month is December, show me 3 months before that one. Or show me 3 months after December. So January and then January and February and March after this December. So January 1st is going to show up on calendar this. You can also do like calendar let's say 2023. So this one will just show you that January 23rd. If you want to get the epoch calendar like calendar 9070, that would just generate January 1st, 9070. And this calendar, you can even do calendar 0001. It's like all of the years that you want, you can just get generated anything for any calendar, as long as you just know that is a valid calendar day. And you can get calendar if you just type in by cal or calendar -j. Cal by itself, the default, it gives you the current month. You can also get cal, for example, 12, 2022. That would also give you the same thing. Or cal 12 would also give you the 12 months. So calendar of, let's say, right now is giving you the current month. You can do calendar -j for Julian format. You get the Julian format also. Similarly, if you go calendar 2023, you get the entire year. And then if you do calendar -j 2023, because it's really long, you can do a pipe more. You can see calendar 23 in Julian format, and then you just press more and you see it. Similarly, you can get information on the system, you like cat etc os and dash release to see what operating system we're using here. Release, you can see that it is Ubuntu Jammy Jellyfish. Earlier I mentioned that one. So you can also get like graphical commands to see it. For example, which Xterm. Since Xterm is already installed and then your display is already set in graphic mode, echo $ and display, sorry, uppercase display. And then you can say Xterm. If you just type in Xterm by itself minus BG, and then let's make it like a pound 00 and then 00 and then 25 for a dark blue color, minus foreground, and then I'm going to make it white. But this time I'm not gonna put all 6 letters. 3 is sufficient enough. So next to decimal, and that is good enough. And then here I could just say whatever font I want. Font face is let's say New York. And then whatever size of text I want, I could do that one also with the FS for font size, and I could say like 25 for the font size. And then if I wanted in the background, I could just put ampersand here. This will just open it in the background. And if I wanted in the foreground, it will do that one. So it just open a nice background here. Here I can run another command like xcalc. Here for calculator, you can just open it and it is doing it. So now you open the xcalculator. If you just say, well, why is it giving me this warning? I don't want to see. So I did it this one. Xcalc, you can just say xcalc to $dev / null. This is going to just suppresses that warning. So you don't, the tool is saying the standard output should be sent to the dev null, and then it does. So here I close it, and here if I want to open another terminal on this one, Xterm minus background, let's say I want to open a, let's say dark green. Let's say I'm gonna do 35, a little bit not too dark, but it is going to be greenish kind of color. Minus foreground, I could just use the word white, and then I don't have to put any font size or anything. The default is fine, and you can see the default is small. So when you do different size, you can resize it here, but it is actually not in a good font size. So in order for me to just get the font size here, I can just close this one and just up arrow here, and then say minus FS, and then get the size of 30. And then if I just do ampersand again, or don't ampersand, because I'm going to close it anyway. So notice is still the font size is big, but the font face is not like New York or Arial or something. So I'm going to say minus font face is equal New York. So I could get a little bit bigger in terms of the things and fonts. And you can see now this bigger. Here I can also run other command like Zenity, for example. Let's just say Zenity -- a calendar. So you can get a calendar, nice calendar, you get it there. And then you can close this one. For example, it is here. It is showing that it's 27 today, and December 27. So it is accurate. And then I can do, and instead of this one, I could say Zenity and -- let's say password, to prompt me for a password that I can type in a password. And then on this dialog box that I'm getting, you can see that it is prompting me for a password, and I just say secret. Let's say secret. But notice it is not secret. It is just showing whatever I type in here, it's going to print it this one. I can also send this one to an out file. The standard output, and instead of sending it to the screen, you can send it to this out file. And then just as soon as it is done, because I'm on the root directory, it did not allow me. But if I just say ID here, and I say, okay, CD to my current directory. Now I'm on the PWD of home. I can cache a file called this, and then I can see the file this minus L this, and I can RM this. So I can create files, I can do everything now. I can do up arrow, and I do this Zenity greater sign out, it's going to write to the output file, whatever I type in. So if I just type in here again, this time say James Bond, or say 007 and 007. Even though I'm typing 007 for the password, it is not showing here, but this out file that I captured, it is just saving it as the text file. So clear the screen, cut out, and then you can see 007 is written there. Similarly, if I just do this one with another file, say, let's say the password, this time I type in, so it is not safe to do so, or something, whatever you type in. Now, if you just cut the file out, then the file out is going to say, so it is not safe. Whatever you do, RM out, you could just make sure that you know what you're doing it. You can also, this kind of password, you can, somebody could do a trace on the process and read it because it's clear text. It is not like kind of encrypted. So a lot of the tools that you do with programming languages and scripting, you make sure that you encrypt it so it's not in the clear text, otherwise it's not safe. And then Zenity, for example, dash dash info, and then dash dash text. You can write any text you want, say, what is your name, or whatever, hi. Doesn't matter what you write on the text, you could do that one. You are welcome to use it there, and then you see that it is just going to say, okay, hi. If you just say something like information in a text messages, you can just run it. And here you can even do, like, instead of dash dash text, you can say text is equal, and then you could run like a command, say, go ahead, do a man page on a Python. So this will just open up Python command language, and then just run your text in there, and it displays it for you. So you can see here that just run the Python command there. And then here it says the command is complete. So if I just don't put it on the double quote, clear the screen again here, and then just don't put it on the double quote, I could put, say, and this one, and then text as equal, and I could do something like man. Let me say that if I could say backtick, could I just do a backtick here? Yeah, it did the same thing as the other one, so you can just get it. And then there's a lot of ways we can just program it to write a bash script to cover it there. Another things you can do with the Xterm itself, you can just run certain things. Right now, somehow it's echoing a lot of characters, which I'm going to close this thing here, and I'm gonna close this one also, and leave only the last one here. And then here I'm logged on only once, I believe, who is there. And yeah, clear the screen again. So if I just do here, I could say Xterm minus BG, and then dark blue minus foreground white, and white, and then I could just say minus weight minus E expression, and then say man Python 3. Let's say if I could just do that one, minus this, and then run it, and it just say something minus e. And instead of wait, you're actually doing old. Old is similar to wait. Old is the expression. So this is going to just open a Python 3 command syntax, as you can see, and it is just doing that one. And if you're interested to get something else, close this one. All you have to do is clear the screen here, run your other command next term, and instead of Python 3, like for example, look for the G plus, and then you can see that you're getting the G information. So again, this is just some of the features. We didn't get into programming and everything else, and some other videos I have already covered those ones. You're welcome to watch them and learn them and enjoy them. So I'm going to close this window also here, and then in order to just shut down this window, this thing, I can just also do right here under the terminals, and I could do a shutdown, power off, so I could just close it programmatically here, and then Control Shift plus. So all I have to do is say shut down. Actually, since I'm logged on as this, I'm going to become root sudo and then shut down -H now. So halt and shut it down at the same time. So I'm going to do that one, and this will just close this Ubuntu version of desktop. And then once it is done, you can see how fast it is doing it. And then on the virtual box, it is actually going to the virtual box here, and this one will say running, and then eventually will say power off, and this session will be closing there. Okay, please go to our channel, watch these videos, enjoy it and learn it, and make some comments to see what area I can improve to better serve you. God bless you all. Take care. And now this showing that it's power off. So I'm gonna call it for the end of the night. And you guys have a great evening. Take care. God bless you all. Bye-bye.